Hi, I'm Amrita Raichand in the IFN studio and really excited about what is just going to transpire between me and these lovely ladies that are with me today. We are celebrating Mother's Day in a couple of days, and today it's all about my Mother's Day. And I am going to be moderating a session with these fantastically enterprising women. Usually, you all ask me so many questions related to children's food. Today, I'm going to be asking these ladies and sharing all our knowledge with all of you. You have seen my YouTube channel being Amrita Chef and Beyond. And now you're going to be watching me live, chatting a little more about what we all do best, cooking for our kids, right? Yes. Nandita, hi. First of all, let me introduce Nandita to you. She is a great food blogger, Saffron Trail Kitchen, which specializes in healthy vegetarian food. Please say hello to the audience.
Hi, everybody.
And we have Neha Mathur, who's a food consultant and blogger. Kuch Khatta Kuch Meetha by Whisk Cafe. She specializes in Rajasthani and Northwestern food. Welcome to the show,
Thank
Neha.
you, Amrita. Thank you so much.
And finally, we have Monika Manchanda, who is joining us through the television screen. And from Bangalore, she is a food blogger and recipe developer. Sene Montels bakes fusion food. Hi, Monica.
Hi.
Great seeing you. Why aren't you here with us?
Yeah, because Bombay and the travel to Bombay was a little tough for the last thing. So I'll join you from here. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it would have been greater if it would have been much nicer if we had your company and got to see you personally. But I'm sure there's always a next time for that.
Absolutely.
So welcome, ladies. Great to have such fantastic women who are, in the kitchen. There was a time when we had never thought that ladies or men behind the kitchen would actually become so famous, so to speak, and become celebrities. But it's great to see this development, this paradigm shift that has happened. In our country and worldwide, actually. So today, since we are celebrating Mother's Day, it's all about my Mother's Day. There are a few questions that are always haunting women. I've still not figured out why it haunts women. I think it's something that should, it should just be an easy thing. But somehow women, I think, just want to be such great moms, which they anyways are, that they are always worried about what to give their children, what not to give their children, how to handle their nutrition. So today, one by one, I'm going to take a few specific questions and let's kind of deal with that. So the first one that I have, which is a sweet one, is what are your earliest food memories from your mom's kitchen?
Well, my mom was a working woman, so I grew up with my grandparents. And to be honest, I wasn't that involved with food as a kid. But yeah, I think my earliest food memory is, I think when I was 8 or 9, and I would stand up on this small stool and, learn how to make dosas just under my grandmother's supervision. So I think that is my earliest food memory, and yeah.
I have to make a confession. I still find making dosas very tough. I mean, the day that dosa comes out of the tawa without getting burned or sticking to the tawa, I mean, I'm like, yeah, I have achieved something. It is really tricky. It is, isn't it?
Yes,
what
yes,
about you, Neha?
So my mother was a working mom as well. She was a doctor and she had like very little time at hand. She being a gynecologist, she was always on calls. But she always made sure that our lunch boxes were not the boring stuff, so she actually made a lot of effort to make them very interesting for us, and those are the earliest memories I have of my mother's cooking, because my lunch boxes were the most sought after.
You can't get away with just telling us it was the most sought after. I want details of it, but I'm going to just take the question to Monica first and then come back to getting all the ideas which we can then use in our particular shows. Monica, what about you?
Looks like we all grew up with working moms. Mine was a working mom too. Having said that, she's a postgraduate in home science, and she always experimented a lot with food. And I think one of my earliest memories with her was she making a fruit cake, tutti frutti cake in the cooker. I mean, earlier I used to bake those cakes in the cooker and we would mix the batter and then I would sit and lick the batter and then we would keep opening the cooker a little bit and seeing whether it is done and we stop it. So that is kind of brought the whole thing of making your own food alive for me and really treasured memories.
How nice. When I was 8 years old, I cooked dal, chawal, aloo ka chokha and bhindi and tomato ki chutney. And then I got a big spank once. My mom was like, why did you turn the gas on? Why didn't, because my mom is also a working mother. So I decided to kind of cook up a surprise for her. But yeah, I think that's why daughters are special, no? Do you have a daughter?
No, son.
Me too. And you?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? All sons. Oh my God. This
All
is,
sons.
we need to have a coffee session and cry a little about not having a daughter, no?
No, but mine makes it for it. He cooks, he even grills lamb chops with all thermometer ready and stuff. So I have no
Wow,
complaints
that's
in that area.
fantastic. But it's not just about cooking part of it. I think just daughters. I mean, my son, touchwood, by God's grace, so far he's only 9 years old. He's a very sensitive and loving child. But you know how guys, when they grow up, they get their girlfriends and their wives, and like they say, na daughter is a daughter for all your life, and a son is a son till he gets a wife. So we're all waiting for that
When it comes.
So, but anyway, all right. Let's move on to the next one. How to make interesting food for kids, or rather, how to make food interesting for kids. Nandita.
I think I'll let Neha go for
Okay,
that
Neha.
first.
So I remember my son was small and we were traveling a lot, and he's a very fussy eater. So I still remember. So I had a lot of cookie cutters at home.
Yeah.
So even to make a chapati, I used to use that cookie cutter to cut. So one day it was a dinosaur chapati, one day it was a car chapati, one day it was a whichever shapes, and then I also use a lot of vegetables and to to color the dough.
But your
and stuff.
child, you use the puree
Yeah,
and put it
to
in the
puree
dough.
and put it in the dough. So it was like a green dinosaur one day because it was a spinach dough.
Spinach, yeah.
And then it was a beetroot dough once. So, so I think colors and shapes attract kids when
That's
they're young.
nice. What about you, Monica? What do you do to, how old is your son, by the way? All those things, I'm presuming he's older than ours.
No,
Tell me. Monica, what about you? Okay, we've lost Monica. Nandita, why don't you take the question till then?
So when my son was weaned off at 6 months, I started giving him all kinds of vegetable purees like beetroot and pumpkin. And those days I was still not so scared of the internet, so I would post one odd picture of him on Facebook. And when he was a baby, I had posted a picture of him with like beetroot puree all over his face. And some of my veggie hating friends were like commenting on, why are you doing this atrocity of feeding him veggie puree when he's like barely 6 months. But yeah, I think that also made him quite non-fussy, and because after he was weaned off at 6 and when we started 6 months and started solid foods, he was pretty much eating everything. By 1 year, he was eating everything that we were eating, and I think that contributes a lot towards making kids more open to, eating what we are eating, and they should not assume that everything should be made separately for them. And, I do my share of, these shapes and adding some colors and all, but I do try to keep him, in touch with our food. The only thing he won't touch is spice. So as long as something doesn't have like chilies and stuff, he's fine with that.
Okay, we've got Monica back. Monica, what do you do to make food interesting for your kid? And I was asking you, how old is your child?
Mine is 9 years, a little more than 9. And I think apart from what Neha and Nandita say, what I strongly believe in making food interesting for kids is to involve them in the kitchen. I mean, the minute they involve themselves in making their own food, I think there's a certain amount of excitement that comes in. I have been cooking with my son since he was 1.5, 2 years old. Starting with giving them a plastic knife to chop their tomatoes, grate the carrots. I mean, when they start putting their heart into it, the whole food gets very exciting. It's like they have made their own food, and I think that really works.
I think that is a very good thing to involve the child in the kitchen. I think makes a hell of a lot of difference. We have a question that has come from the audience. So I'm going to take that. What would you say will be the best qualities one should have to become not only a good chef, but one who will be sought after by people of discriminating taste?
Wow, that's a tough
That
question.
See, when you're a good chef, I think I'll take that. When you're a good chef, you will be sought after. What you need to do is you have to specialize in what you like to do. If you're going to try and do something that everybody likes and you're going to try and please everybody, this is the principle in life. You just can't please everybody. You have to, you have to hone your own talent. You have to see what you are good at and let the neighbor do something for the next person. So I think, I think that's the way it should work. And oh, looking adorable, Amrita, you're the cutest chef I know. Haha. Thank you. I thought this is a question, so I read it aloud. I'm sorry if I sounded a bit. Hello. Sounded conceited.
Good.
Sorry about that. All right, let's move on to the next one. How can working mothers maximize time in the kitchen? Monica, why don't you start?
I think the key here is prep. I mean, chart out your weekly menus, do prep that you can in the weekends and spend Sunday evenings. You can chop your vegetables and put in Tupperware containers. You can even fry, parboil stuff and cook it so that you get through the week easily. I mean, I survive week on week on my weekly menus. I mean, what goes on the menu? I mean, otherwise, every morning, if I get up and look at the fridge and say, okay, what do I cook now? I'm going to use time, effort, and energy.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Neha?
think exactly that. Preparation and charting out a menu for the week helps a lot. And with the online grocery things and available, you can just chart out a menu, order all your groceries once in a go because you have your menu ready right with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And I think that helps a lot.
What about you, Nandita?
See, I feel like as Indians, we place too much emphasis on everything made fresh and everything, served to you there. But in that case, it just becomes very difficult to cook 3 meals from scratch, fresh, when you haven't planned for it. So things like, if you're cooking brown rice or if you're cooking some beans, there's no harm in cooking like double, triple the quantity and putting it in the refrigerator so that you can make use of it for your next meal after a couple of days, as long as it's in an airtight container. It's your, as long as you're putting everything together fresh, it's fine. You don't need to necessarily cook the rice from scratch and the beans from scratch because we don't have that much
Leeway with
facility
time.
of canned beans, and those are still not that available here. So I think it's still better than doing takeaway, right? So I think this planning and cooking for prepping the ingredients for 2-3 meals in the week is not a bad thing at all, and it actually helps us, like when instead of cooking this much we are cooking like little more, so it saves a lot of time and
That's
effort.
true. And also, I think, too much attention is given on planning also because. I mean, sometimes some things have to be left to spontaneity also.
Right.
And we always feel, अरे ये सब चीज़ें नहीं हैं हमारे घर में. There's always a few basic ingredients that you can just cook up. What you need to do is, I think, also what matters and what goes a long way in planning of something is a little bit of creativity. And watching all our programs will definitely give you, this is called underhand promotion. But, jokes apart, is if you know a few tips and tricks to kind of put a few simple ingredients together and create a fun recipe within minutes. Like this recipe which I came up with, this oats muffin, it just happened like that. I had so many chopped vegetables lying for a stir fry that I had planned. And then I knew my son is not going to have the stir fry, so I just picked up some oats. I mixed these finely chopped, vegetables, and I just made a nice batter of it, and I baked them in the oven. And then I used a little mashed potato and kind of gave it that, the so-called frosting kind of look. And it just turned out to be a fantastic meal. So sometimes you just have to, on the spot, also be ready to experiment with whatever you have in the kitchen rather than, making long lists of planning things. But of course, not to say that planning is not good. It's excellent.
Yeah, so I think we can
Mix
like
of
maybe
both.
if you're
Yeah.
working
nice,
and you're
yeah.
like time crunch, then you can maybe do
Yeah,
a mix
plan
of
it,
things.
correct.
Maybe do
And-
some
and over the
meals
weekend
plan
you
and over the
can-
weekend
yes,
just
be
do
a
something
little-
interesting and be
correct.
creative.
Lovely. So now this is this is a very good one considering Mother's Day. Let's talk a little bit about mums as well. How can mothers take care of their diets, health and health having kids around? Monica, why don't you start with it?
I think as
Diets.
Indian mothers, we have been in the state that we put our kids in front of our own stuff for a very, in fact, not just kids, the whole family. The whole thing of giving hot fulka to everyone and then eating your fulka has been a thing which has gone for way too long. I think we need to stop doing that. I mean, at our home, whoever is at table at 7 o'clock eats at 7 o'clock. Whoever comes late. So I think we need to move beyond putting everyone else in before us and going there. So
But
the
do you
minute
really
you
think as
shift
a
that
mother that's
focus,
possible?
I
We all
think why not? I mean, you can take care of your family only when you take care of yourself. So
absolutely, absolutely. That is something which I keep saying because it's a whole mindset that mothers think that everybody else has to come and then only I will be known in my own head like the best mother on this planet, which is
right.
Nandita. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I think we need to be mothers, not martyrs. We have to take care of ourselves first, and we have to be happy and not take too much on our heads and not take too much on our plate. I have been that kind of paranoid and very stickler for rules, mum. But I think now my son is 8, and I think I need to slowly start letting go. And even for dinner, once if my son says I just want to make myself a peanut butter sandwich, I should just say go ahead. Otherwise I'd say, oh my god, no vegetables, and I would just freak out. I'm learning to
But peanut butter is very healthy.
it is good. It's not
Make it
bad.
at
It's
home.
not
Watch
bad
Being
at all.
Amrita, Chef and Beyond, and
Yes,
there is a
it's-
recipe for
even there's
homemade
a
peanut butter.
channel. So we need to let go, and sometimes, like you said, just let things take their own thing. We don't have to be physically present and ensure everything. And kids also learn to be a little more independent that way. So
Yeah.
we need to get over our
What
guilt
about
complex.
fitness, Neha? What do you do for your fitness to kind of, make sure that as much attention that you pay on your son's health, you pay to your, you pay that much attention to yourself as well.
Yes, so see, I start to work like early in the morning, and then once my son is off to school, I take an hour off, and
Right.
that's like my time. So that's
lovely.
when I do a little bit of exercise, maybe some yoga, and I just make sure that that 1 hour is just for me, and in the sense my health, and I stick to that thing. So that way I'm not neglecting, he's going to school, his lunch boxes maybe, and then I still have time for myself. And apart from that, next to my work table, I always have some jars full of dry fruits and stuff like that, healthy stuff.
Right.
So while I'm working, I don't have time to get up and do a healthy snack. I just have something to munch on right next to me. So that's like a routine for me, and I think that has
That's
helped
very good. I think
a lot.
all mums, forget mums, every human being should have a exercise routine no matter what. And for mums it works when the child goes to school. Like I do the same thing, I drop my child to the bus stop, and I then go straight to my gym. I go for a boot camp, so that 1.5 hours is my time. And I think that's so important to rejuvenate you, to get you all adrenaline rushing for the whole day, and to take on the day as well. Because if like Monica had mentioned, if you're not going to be healthy, if you're not going to be happy, how are you going to keep the family happy? How are you going to keep the child happy? So I think it's really important that we look after our own fitness as well. All right, so now any handy kiddie dishes or recipes that have always worked for you, Nandita?
Well, in my case, it's pancakes. My son is crazy after pancakes, and so then I keep trying. I experiment with all kinds of like buckwheat flour and sometimes a mix of oat and whole wheat flour. You'll find a lot of pancake recipes on my YouTube channel. So and then mix in whatever seasonal fruits and things. So there's also this very popular recipe that's also on my blog. So you just whisk in 1 egg with 1 mashed banana, overripe banana, and there's no need for adding any flour or any other ingredients. So this is the famous 2-ingredient pancake, which most days after he comes back from school, like even though I know that the bus has just entered my thing, I can start the thing and it's ready by the time he reaches the house.
Why don't you tell them what your, where they can find
you
this
can
recipe?
find this on my blog, saffrontrail.com.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Amrita.
No, it's important, because when you immediately,
so
even
just
I am
look-
like, I
yeah.
should.
Just look for the 2-ingredient pancake. Of course, it's not my invention. I found it on some other food website. But these kind of things work. It's healthy and it's very quick. That's what we as mums want. We don't want to be like, for every meal we can't be slaving in the kitchen.
Lovely. So before I go to you, there are lots of questions and conversations happening. So I'll just address them. Also, since it's live, so it's important that we kind of address our audience as well. We have Rekha Rao who says, "Don't we lose taste if you cook in advance and keep?" I think that was.
So it's just the basic ingredients, right? Like you cook brown rice, or you've cooked quinoa for a salad, or you've cooked beans. But then that's not the end of your dish. You're going to add other fresh ingredients, or toss it, or do like a stir fry or a fried rice or whatever it is. So
it depends on what is the ingredient that you're using.
True.
I mean, the thing that takes the longer time, you kind of make that and keep. And then when you add your other ingredients, you're preparing something fresh and new.
Right.
Rupesh Jha, he follows me on possibly every social media platform, so I better take his question. Hi Amrita, my first question for you. What should I eat, as I love to eat, but I am trying to avoid it because of my weight? Rupesh, this is my Mother's Day. We're talking about
a relevant question. Sorry.
Not a relevant question, so I'm not going to answer this. That's going to happen separately on the social media chat. This is Prateek Jain. Question for all the chefs. Is there a moment in your early years where you cooked or burned something and your mother scolded you? I think we've all gone through that, haven't we? Monica?
Yes. I mean, I think we all have, in a way. I remember putting a dal for boiling and then forgetting all about the cooker, immersed in a book, and then suddenly thinking that, okay, someone is burning something in the neighborhood, and then my mom coming back from school and saying, "Hamare ghar mein jal raha hai, kisi aur ke ghar mein nahi jal raha." So
in Indian homes, so neighbors come to your house before anybody else.
Exactly. But I think all of us have done it, but my mom was like one of the she was like, very chilled out mom. Jal gaya na, koi baat nahi. That's how you will kind of learn. Theek hai.
So Viraj Rajyani is also asked the same thing. Kitchen disaster stories are always interesting. What's your memorable disaster story? Well, I never got scolded by my mom because that never happened. But when I was in the 10th to 11th standard in Sana, we were at our family guardian's house, this aunt whose daughter is my best friend. So I was studying for my exams and she was making these, meatballs for a dinner. And I tried to be this, holier than thou child and said, "Auntie, you go to sleep in the afternoon, I'll look after them." And as luck would have it, while studying, I passed out. And those, meatballs got burned. And I remember for the first time, she really shouted at me. And then later, she hugged me and apologized. But, I mean, I really had. So, yeah, we all are a part of disasters in the kitchen. Rekha Rao, what is your earliest memory of the food that you guys cooked? I think we've already taken that question. What was your first recipe and okay, that also is taken. Okay, let me get back to any handy kiddy dishes or recipes that you've worked. Nandita had taken that. I think let's go to Neha.
Yeah, so pancake is also my son's like go-to recipes, and I think we have one recipe where I'm cooking with him. In fact, he is cooking and I am just assisting him on the YouTube channel. So he did a pancake. But apart from that, smoothies and parathas is what I always keep handy. So I always have dough made with different vegetables stuffed in it.
Okay.
And
but I think what also works is giving lovely names. So if you tell them I'm giving you paratha, they'll be like, okay, keep it home.
Is 11 now.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So yours is 11, but for younger children, you say, oh, we're giving you nachos. Softer paratha like tacos. You make them, or you say that there are these nice cheesy triangles. Cut them in triangles. I think that really works.
I use that the most when I want to make my son taste any Indian sweet, because he's like completely anti any Indian sweet. So once I think there was this gor papdi, which is a very guju sweet thing made of atta and gur, and I actually told him that these are some shortbread or something, fennel shortbread, and he actually ate them. So yes, that works.
That works. Okay, so my Rupesh Jha has come back with this question that, okay, on Mother's Day, tell me a quick recipe for cooking something for my mom on Sunday. So this one we can take. Who wants to give him some suggestion?
Depends on what cuisine is your favorite.
It's a guy, first of all.
Yeah, okay.
He's making it has to be something very quick. It involves least amount of cooking.
Even try poha or something and make a good masala chai. I think that would be a
that would
nice
also
idea.
And maybe if he knows what his mother likes actually, and then cook that, That will be.
I think that will be nice. Why don't you find out
Find
what
out.
your
Find
mom
out
likes
mom
and tell
likes
us, and
and,
we'll
we'll
all put
try.
together a nice recipe for you and give it to you.
Yes.
All right, now Footage Global News wants to know how to make your mom eat healthy food when she's all the time eating only food like vada pav and cholesterol puri. I think that's a very, very valid question, because my mom also does the exact same thing. And you know, that generation feels that the best things to eat are the bhajiyas and the vada pavs and the proper ones. Not,
The curries cannot turn out good.
So that's I think that's a very, very nice question. Who wants to give that answer? I have failed with my mother. I have tried, and she'll say, "Keek de deta mainu." You know, in Punjabi, give me my bhajia. So I have finally given up. I work my magic with my child, but can't do it with my mom. So Monica, do you have some suggestion? Everyone's given up.
Parents are difficult.
I'm in your corner, Amrita. I have a Punjabi mom too, so I'm absolutely in your corner, sitting right next to you.
Yeah, you and I don't think we can.
My mom already eats too
Yeah,
healthy.
me
She
too.
doesn't let us. She would, I mean, in my house, like even the fried thing will come like once in 3 months or once in 6 months. So I have nothing to say. I don't know what to say.
So my parents are Rajasthanis and they, like their curries, masala bhuna hona
And
chahiye.
the dal bati churma.
Yeah, the dal
Oil
bati
layers.
churma, the oil
Yum.
should be floating on top, and they're like, we eat less, but we cannot eat we
Okay,
just
so
want
I
to
have
eat
a good
this.
suggestion for you, because I did this in one of the food festivals. So I'm from Bihar, so I made dal bati in a different way, in a Bihari style, not the. So I baked the litti chokha. Yeah. So basically, I baked the litti instead of frying it, and then what I did was I broke it I gave it a mukka, and then dunked it in ghee. So you get that ghee ka flavor also, and it goes inside, and then but you've not deep fried it and kept it inside for too long. And some people keep it soaked and leave it in ghee.
Yeah.
So I don't do that. I garam I put it in the ghee,
and
just
stick
pop
it
it out, so you get the exact flavor
right.
without the So that's a
Maybe
tip for you.
something like that. For
So you
your
can.
mom. Yeah.
All right. How to involve kids in the kitchen? Monica, you were talking about this, that is, very good to involve. But how does one get down to it? See, your child may like cooking, but there are other children who don't. Like my son is not so crazy about cooking, but he loves to come and eat the food. If I'm especially using chocolate and stuff, he'll come and grab the food and stuff like that. So how does one kind of actually involve children in the kitchen?
I think this is one of the very important messages to pass to kids, not just to cook, that cooking is a life skill. I mean, everyone pitches in for home, everyone pitches in for food. I mean, the food that comes to your table is a responsibility of everyone and not just the mom. So I think that message, just to pass that message to kids, if they don't like to cook, involve them in other activities around kitchen. Let them set the table, let them uh, take the staff, chop tables for you. But I think it's extremely important to pass them the message that when there is food on the table, everyone is responsible to put it, because that's how it is. I mean, times are changing. Right now, we see times are so changing. By the time they grow up 20 years later, I don't know what the scene of food and the home scenario will be. And we need to enable every child to be able to cook a fair meal for themselves.
I think that's a very, very good answer and very valid thing to actually inculcate in our children, that cooking. In fact, a friend of mine also said the other day that I don't like the fact that I can't cook because I feel like I'm dependent. So just to give you that feeling of independence and self-sufficient, to feel self-sufficient, it's very important to know the basics of cooking, and the age to inculcate this is when they are children. And like you very rightly said, as they're growing up, they probably won't be living with us like the way we have so much family around. So I think it's all the more necessary for them to know the basic ingredients of cooking, so to speak. That's very well answered, Monica.
If they don't like cooking, they don't need to try out new stuff and get all experimental. But the basics, there is no excuse when people come to me and say, hey, I don't cook. I mean, I don't think, I try not to say that that's terrible, and that's not even acceptable. That's like saying I can't cross the road. It's just an essential thing. You should know at least the basics.
That's nice. Okay, so I have an announcement to make. My Mother's Day Facebook contest had taken place, and the winner is Binita Joshi, ND. So congratulations. So that's a good one. And now finally, okay, let me take some questions from here because they're just coming in many numbers. What do you think is the most effective way to inspire people to cook at home?
think I don't know about inspire, but definitely when you cook on your own, you know what's going into the food, right? From salt to oil to spices to how fresh the produce was or whatever the ingredients are. And I think that's very important because you know the way to good health starts from your kitchen. And if you don't know what's going into your food, because some people just completely outsource it to cooks and they just do whatever they want to do because obviously they're not so concerned about your health, right? So I think if you want to be healthy, it definitely starts with you know, you getting into the kitchen and being inspired to cook yourself.
And can I give you a shallow
meal.
suggestion?
Oh yes.
Just know that you may be a celebrity one day. You'll be automatically inspired to cook because I don't think any one of us had thought at some point. We all love cooking, but at least I initially never thought that I could because somehow it's not everyone's cup of tea to really toil behind a kitchen. So if there is a glamorous side involved to it, and for me it's not just the glamorous side. It is somewhere I feel like I'm contributing to the society, and especially working for children's nutritious food. I think in some little way you're doing good to your family, of course, but also to the society. And I think that also should inspire you because when you know that whatever you're doing, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for others. I think that just kind of empowers you a little more and wants you to do better and better. So I think that should help in sufficing. Also, a lot of people are wishing us Happy Mother's Day and saying that we are great chefs and moms, and congratulations. So thank you for all those lovely wishes. And finally, let me ask all of you to suggest one recipe from your particular channel that viewers can cook for their mums this Mother's Day. So I think that will be a nice closing note.
I think I like the energy bars that are made with oats, and it's very simple, and there's no baking involved. So I think you guys can try that out. And it's like your mom can just pick out one piece and have a healthy breakfast for a week. So I think that's nice.
What about you,
I
Neha?
think my mom loves gatte ki sabzi, and I have a gatte ki sabzi recipe on the blog, which is very easy to make, super quick, and it's very healthy also.
Okay.
So unlike the frying of masala and stuff, just
yeah.
like use 2 teaspoons of oil made in a curd-based gravy,
Nice.
and that's what I would like to make for my mom this Mother's Day.
Fantastic. Monica, what about you? Asi Punjabi, what do we make
think
for our
I'll go-
mums?
Yeah.
Parathe.
I think I'll go back to my childhood. If the fruit cake that I spoke about, my earliest memory is there on the blog, YouTube channel. So I think connect to nostalgia and make it for your mom rather. I think we all grew up with our tutti frutti cake, and it would be a great thing to make for your mother.
I think that's nice, and I would suggest the tofu parcel recipe that I have. It's a nice vegetarian dish and it's a very quick one. You just kind of wrap, and it looks very beautiful. You wrap it in silver foil and parchment paper, and you put this tofu with some Thai, marinade just sauces, and with some pak choy, and you kind of just bake it for 7 minutes. You just put it in the oven for 7 minutes. And when you open it, it is, you have this fancy little thing. So you basically wrap it up and, put a toothpick or a satay stick. Yeah, so but it's very easy. I'm trying to kind of, I believe there are many questions, but I can't see any on this. So if you can give me the questions, then I can take it. Till then, we'll keep chatting. So so try that recipe. That's on Being Amrita, Chef and Beyond, and everybody has shared their why don't you all give us the links to your channels one by one, so it's etched in the memory of our audiences.
Mine is at youtube.com/saffrontrail, and that's the same name of my blog, saffrontrail.com. So you can check out both, and you can catch all the recipes that we've been talking about.
And what about you, Neha?
So my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Kuch Khatta Kuch Meetha by Neha Mathur, and my blog is called Whisk Affair. There are tons of recipes, both Indian and international. So just go have a look and just try some of them out. I'm sure you'll like them.
Okay, and Monica?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is called Cinnamon Tales, cinnamon with a S.
Question for me again, please. So there is a gentleman whose wife is a working woman, and she goes very early to work, and her rotis are not very soft when she tries to make them. So how does she keep those rotis soft?
we as North Indians have been eating rotis throughout, and I remember my mom kneading the dough very soft.
Okay.
So if the dough of your roti is soft, the rotis generally don't turn out harder. So softer your dough, the rotis will keep longer.
What about
and
after
softer.
making the roti, you put little ghee and
So
wrap
if
it
you
in
don't,
silver,
so, I mean,
silver foil?
Yeah, you can put ghee, but if you really want to avoid ghee also, just knead the dough softer. Nothing else, only the whole wheat flour, some water to it. Need
Okay.
a soft dough, no salt, no oil needed. Just make a soft dough.
Okay.
And roll the rotis as thin as possible, and then just keep them in a casserole. They keep warm, they keep soft, and you actually don't need anything else. So I think.
So the other thing is also that if she has no time in the morning, she can prepare the atta in the night and keep it in an airtight container, and then just as soon as you wake up, you keep it out so that it comes to room temperature, and in 15-20 minutes you can roll them out, because you don't have the time to prepare and rest the atta in the morning. You can do
So there's one more question with from somebody who doesn't stay with the mother, so wants to know what should they make that they can send to their mother on Mother's Day. So Monica, would you like to come up with a suggestion for that?
FedEx takes baked goodies as parcels. FedEx also takes a little bit of your namkeen or whatever. So I think if you stay away, making something which lasts for longer and can stay a couple of days would be a good suggestion. Make brownies. Brownies do, if you
Basically,
pack in an airtight container, would last.
yeah, so I also have the shakkar para recipe which I've made, and I colored it with colored beetroot. As in I put beetroot juice on, no, just a little bit of the juice of the beetroot after boiling it on the caster sugar, and then once I made the shakkar para, I kind of just coated it with that, so they become nice and pink. So it's you can pack that in a nice little box and FedEx it.
I have a couple of granola recipes on the blog where you can actually, those are healthy,
Yeah,
easy
that's
to
a good-
make, keep
yeah.
for a long time, and you can
Nice.
experiment with so many flavors with them.
Lovely, yeah. So
and
that's a good. So granola
any
and
cookies and those kind of
Yeah.
things which are dry and will stay, and the courier will accept.
and the courier will accept it. Yeah. So anyway, it was just absolutely fantastic chatting with all you wonderful ladies. I hope you all have had your share of information. Also, audience, I hope you're happy with this session. I am very happy because usually I'm the one who's answering these questions, and individually I think all of you must be answering these questions to a lot of people. But it's so lovely when all these energies come together and kind of find solution for people. And I am serious. I want to fix up a coffee date with all of us, because our kids are also the same age. We almost do the same. They're all boys. So we really
All
need to
boys,
celebrate
yeah.
together. So Monica, it'll depend on you when you're coming to Bombay, and we're going to fix this.
next time
And
in
we
Bombay.
must catch up. And it was really nice. I hope you all enjoyed as much as we did. We'll catch you again very soon. This is Amrita Raichand from the IFN studio. And you all can just say your bye-byes also. And I'll see you very soon.
Yeah, it was great being here. Usually I'm logged in from Bangalore and I happen to be in Bombay, so I'm,
Fantastic.
I
Yay, at
joined in
least,
from
yeah.
the studio. So it was good fun, and happy Mother's Day to all you wonderful mums, and see you soon, catch you soon.
Yeah, it was fantastic talking to you all. I am from Bangalore itself, and just
Oh,
by chance,
I'm the only one who's
Yes,
from.
you
I think I should, yeah. Okay,
You
okay.
come to
I'm
Bangalore.
coming to Bombay. I'm dying to come to Bangalore, so now this gives me a reason to.
Yeah.
So I have to do this. No, I am going to plan this very soon. I mean, this, come on, this has to be celebrated in Bangalore now. All right, Monica, your last words to our lovely audience.
Thank you so much. I had a great time chatting, connecting with you girls and the rest of the audience and sharing my thoughts on it. And happy Mother's Day and see you soon.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye, Monica.
Bye.
Happy
See
Mother's
you.
Day. Bye.
See you.
Bye.